Hey guys, this is Seb, and today I'm here to share my take on the first half of the first major patch in Monster Hunter Now, Fulminations in the Frost. The first half I'll define here as up to and including unlocking Banbaro, and the second half will include Barrieth and Zinogre. So without further ado, let's begin. As you should all know by now, we at last got the dual blades and the lance. Not to mention, we have 4 new monsters introduced. So here's a quick little roadmap that I whipped up. In general, the quests in between the unlocks ranges from simple slay monsters or gather materials to specific monster kills such as Tobigadachi, Eurotodes, Puke Puke, and gathering materials from specific node types. The bones, the vegetation, the mineral nodes. The emergency quests aren't too difficult, facing off only against 4-star version of the monster. Starting off is Radobaan, the first of the 4 new monsters we'll be encountering. It's a huge bony monster with lots of breakable parts and a gigantic hitbox. There are 2 major things to be careful of when fighting. The first being its rolling attack, which is kind of hard to telegraph, and the second is when you're fighting up close, it releases sleeping gas from time to time, and your character will basically fall asleep. The second is Banbaro, which is a giant mammoth, and like Radobaan, it does feature a giant hitbox. It's generally a simple fight, although its reach does increase significantly when it picks up a log and charges around the arena. Both monsters in the first half are quite simple to fight, giant hitboxes, and they're not really that evasive nor fast, making them good for target practice with the 2 new weapons. For the entire patch, I've more or less used the dual blades. I love them in Monster Hunter World and Rise. I absolutely love the high speed attacks, the attack chaining, and for me personally, the time to kill seems to be the quickest. Now, in this game, there's absolutely a high risk factor, especially if you're free to play. In Demon mode, you don't get stunned from light attacks, and you'll be attacking through damage. So you gotta keep an eye out on your health and the monster's telegraph. Otherwise, you'll be burning through your stash of potions pretty quick. That being said, while in demon mode, every dodge is an attack, and your special attacks more or less never miss. The lance I'm not a huge fan of. It feels slow and clunky, and it definitely enforces turtling rather than fast action. I think unless otherwise needed for a quest or unless they buff it a lot, I would steer away from this weapon. With new monsters bring new armor sets, and with Radobaan and Banbaro, they pair very nicely with the lance. Both armors have skills like guard, offensive guard, and tremor resistance. On the pro side, both armors look pretty badass, and if later armor becomes a thing, the Banbaro armor is definitely something I'm using. On the con side, with the short timer for each fight and the 30% minimum health requirement, I don't foresee a highly defensive build to be ever useful in the game right now. And that's it for the first half of the patch. I hope to finish up part 2 soon so I can report back. Until then, I'll be uploading shorts and working on the simple, quick tips for the new weapons, so do keep an eye out for those.